downloads. I will send it to you. And here's what you need to know. If you have to download it to your computer, save it to your computer, because it will get deleted from mine. Okay?
Yeah.
All right. All right. So, how did you find me?
Eric.
Oh, Eric, our boy Eric. Okay.
Yeah. I don't was on YouTube looking at stuff, and I just saw a few videos, and you were in a few of them, and that's how. Are you the swearing psychic?
Well, I don't bill myself like that, but I've been known to
I
drop an F-bomb, Mary.
Yeah, because I think you joked about that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, yeah. I'm trying to clean up the potty mouth, but Eric likes it.
Yeah, I would imagine he would.
So, that's actually a great title, The Swearing Psychic. All right.
It's unique.
It is unique.
Yeah.
So, do you have questions for us? Where do we start?
I'm going to start with I lost my family in 9 months.
Okay.
My mom, my dad, my 2 kids, um, and 2 siblings.
Wow.
After that, and during this, my husband and I had a beautiful home, and like we were going to die there, that kind of home.
Mhm.
And I don't know. I didn't know what was going on with him, but I noticed like the last 2 weeks I was watching him, he was acting odd. And so for some reason, I thought I gotta go to the police because something is wrong. He was getting violent. But while we were married up until then, I had the best marriage I can, we were like best friends. So we go to the police station, they send a cop there, and here they find him with heroin and cocaine.
Oh.
I don't know what happened. Long story short, we ended up selling the house, and he blew through so much money. It was, so okay. Then I move into apartment, and I live in an apartment that's for 62 and older.
Mhm.
But when I moved in, it was 55. So I got to get in at 55 years old.
Okay.
And then I was extremely depressed, obviously. And I had a dog. I always have a dog, and I used to breed macaws.
Ah. Okay.
And I kept one. And so I had all plans done that I knew how long he would live. And my daughter adored him. So she was going to take him when so I took 2 years and I worked on myself. I mentioned in the email I sent you, I read the book by Dr. Dwayne. Can't even say it. Well,
Wayne
anyway,
Wayne Dw Wayne
Wayne
Dyer.
Dyer. Yeah. And I had obviously worked on myself before that, but I knew I needed something to get out of the funk. And I had my 2 animals, so that gave me something.
Mhm.
Like, who's going to take care of them? So then I did get better, and I don't know how. And so I took 2 years, and worked on myself and worked on myself. And also, I didn't want to meet someone and them have to deal with my baggage. But so at Christmas time, I finally had made, losing myself here. I finally had gotten to the place where, okay, I'm fine. And I want to go out and look at all the decorated houses. So I put a blinker collar on my festive collar on my dog, and we didn't even get 2 feet. And a car came over and ran him over.
Oh my word.
And a lot of cars pulled over because they saw him. And while I was holding him, I could feel like there's like grass and then like a big woods that you know, go down, and that takes you to a bike trail. And I wanted to do that with him. And so after I got back here, I was just numb. And I put a picture up on my iPad, so when it opens, it showed a picture of him. And I would turn it on and look at it, and all of a sudden, because I had sent him to be cremated, and I wanted the ashes of whatever back. And it took him like 2 or 3 weeks to get me the ashes. And when I was with him by the road, I swear I saw something in the woods, but it was very dark. I mean, it's just like the darkest all around me. And I'm like, because before that in my life, it just seemed like whenever I got happy, felt stable, and friends, something always happens to take it away. After Griffin got ran over, that was my doggy's name, I went over to my girlfriend's house because she didn't feel well. I found her dead. And I'm like, and then my health started to decline again. And I'm looking at my notes. Well, it took about a year, but I really got sicker again. I have fibromyalgia, chronic fatigue syndrome, neuropathy, and probable lupus, because I can't catch it right time. So after I started getting sick, I could at least take care of Rocco. It's just me and Rocco. And I'm like, well, at least I got him. And then about a year or two after finding my girlfriend and Griffin dying, I had always a team of doctors, because when I have a before life and then this life, because I could afford and go to the best people. They sent me to Mayo Clinic because they wanted to make sure they weren't missing anything. And when I got done at Mayo, they said, you're just in the 20 percentile that get this bad, but we can't find anything else. And as you get older, it'll probably get worse. And that was when I was like 49. I'm 70 now. So as I got sicker and sicker and had him taking care of my dog, it was, I got the new doctors and they're anti-American opioids, but I had like 20 years of the same, they had the nerve to retire. But I had a whole group, and my daughter had this, but she didn't get it till she got it at 9 years old. And so that was something I had to, and then everybody came to me that had it for disability, and I would get them in. And so anywho, then I go to the doctor, and I was on morphine, and this is true of them. Then we had the lovely opioid thing for America. And what they have, I don't know. I don't think this would have happened if I was with my great insurance I had to, but they tell you at the pain management now, no matter what you say, what you have, they'll give you such minimal that it really doesn't help. And then I went to see another pain doctor, and he was just like, you can't have opioids. You only, it's like what you have, your illnesses, has to validate giving me anything. Mm-hmm. So that was that. And, but a week before I went to the doctor, I was just laying in bed, and I heard a woman talking to me, and I've heard her a long time, like when I woke up, when I would wake up, hi, Mary, or something like that. And she said, Mary, kill yourself before they do. It will be so much kinder. And I was already thinking of that because when I went off the morphine, they didn't wean me. I was just cut. So I went through, obviously, a 2 to 3 week withdrawal thing. I literally had to crawl out of my bed to go to the bathroom because everything. So then I'm thinking, oh, now I see what she means. But I got so bad that within, I knew I had to find somewhere for Rocco. I couldn't clean the cage anymore, play with him. And I noticed I didn't have any emotions. I couldn't. I mean, sometimes I would be looking at him and I would feel nothing. No, oh, I love you. Oh, and that was the most bizarre thing. So we forward about 6, 7 months, everything's gone out of my system. But I still was pretty bad. And luckily I found in Sheboygan a rescue that took Rocco. And after they took him, I came in my room and I was just like stunned because he was the only thing I had left from my life. And here we go. So also what started happening after Rocco was gone, I don't know if I was fully awake, but I had like this electrical thing running all through my body, and it didn't feel good. And I would hear myself saying, Mary, wake up. And then my Griffin, who's already gone, he started barking. And then my dad comes in and goes, Mary, you really got to wake up now. But I couldn't move. I did after my dad came in, and I think it was like okay. And I woke up. are those psychic attacks?
So I don't deal in psychic attacks. I don't know anything about them, but what I'm hearing to tell you is
Mhm.
part of you have to be very careful because part of your mental distress leaves you wondering what's what. So
Right.
I would ask you now, do you have a clinical diagnosis mentally? Have they assigned you a label? What is it?
No, well, they have, but actually that got taken care of even before in my home.
What do they
Um,
call it?
it
What?
was a chemical imbalance.
Mhm.
And because when I was even young, I lived in constant fear and high anxiety. And so it was weird because when I started getting sick back then, they um the doctor ordered some Celexa, which is like Paxil.
Mhm.
So I went, okay, and then about a week later after taking them, I didn't have it anymore.
So right now, how long ago did because you told me a lot of backstory there. How long ago did all of that happen?
Um 3 years, I think, 2 or 3 years.
Okay. So when did your husband have his issue?
When I was like, I have to go by my ages. At when I turned 50.
Okay, so about 20 years ago was the husband.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
And then so after the husband, like all that other stuff happened also around 20 years ago. What's,
yes.
so the dog is most current,
Hmm.
the dog that you put in Sheboygan?
But the Griffin, the dog, got killed.
Oh, right. But didn't you place another dog?
My blue gold macaw.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I
Okay.
had to surrender him because
Okay.
I just couldn't do it anymore. And
Right.
but what I noticed was, I mean, because I get these headaches and they start like at your upper,
Mhm.
all around my head and my neck and spine.
Mhm.
And even when I would have like a better day, I still couldn't really feel. And when after um, Griffin, I, like I said, I really, and then I upped it. I would meditate, I would do this, and I was shown many, many things, and I understood clearly the big picture, and we're here for a specific reason, and that I just let go of everything. Any anger I had towards people or whatever, and it became love, forgiveness, love, and a service are everything.
Beautiful.
But I couldn't do anything. But with the Rocco, my bird,
Mhm.
when I surrendered him, I don't, I tried that same work on myself after about 2 weeks.
Mhm.
And then I noticed I couldn't meditate.
Mm.
It was like I still can. And it's been a year
How
and a
long?
half.
Oh, year and a half. Okay.
Yeah. And that's was everything to me. And also being of service, I loved. But then my dad came to me in a dream, and he was smiling at me, and he took my hand and he did this,
Mhm.
and then he smiled and he ducked his head down, and I could see him pouring energy in me, a golden light and a
Mhm.
little bit of, and I'm like, huh. Then again, I got 70% better for 6 weeks. And now it's still, I mean, it's still much better. And I'm always yelling at my dad now, like, "Hey, can't you do a better job than this? And by the way, I lost all my money. Could you, arrange something for me?" And also to have, because I have no friends anymore. Not the type that you would really know, you know how it is.
Mhm. Yep, yep.
I have a couple here that are, two other women where one takes me like to the store and appointments because I don't have a car anymore. And I keep praying and talking to Jesus
Mm.
that's what there's nothing worse than not having a best friend, or a husband.
Yeah.
So I don't have that. And then I've been working on my body since May 9th is the first time I felt better. It was like a day or two after he did that. I had a gut feeling before he came in to buy a tread because whenever I would stand up, that's what it seemed to be horrible, on my neck and these horrible headaches. And so for a Hail Mary, I bought a rowing machine.
Oh,
And that's what I said. Oh, so of course you row, and I could only do 2 days and then I'd be down 10 days or so because of,
yeah.
and now I row every day, 3 miles.
Beautiful.
Yeah. So um but I still can't meditate.
Mm.
I mean, just I don't care. When I would meditate, especially before all this, I was plugged in. I mean, but funny, they showed me everything in the universe but here,
That's interesting.
isn't it?
So what do you make of that? Why do you think that is?
I don't, all I remember I can think of is one time I, uh, psychics have told me I astral travel.
Hmm.
I, I, I feel it's like in the mind's eye. I don't think
Yeah.
it doesn't matter, I guess.
Yeah. No, I think you're right. It is in the mind's eye. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, no, I understand. You're right.
But I was taken to a place and it was a beautiful blue, but like a deep dark blue. And then I saw these lights and I'm thinking to myself, oh, I'm looking at the stars. And then I looked again and oh, because they were in stars and they were different colors. One of them, the color red, was an extraterrestrial.
Okay.
And he would talk to me. And the other ones were just kind of there. But I felt like it's like euphoria. I'm sure when you tap in.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Yeah. But
Yepper.
but that's the biggest thing that validated, oh, I really am plugging in. And I've been taken there several times. A lot of things happen. I'm not like, psychic like you. I don't know what the hell it is, but I did talk to a psychic before.
A psycho.
No, that I guess would be me. And she told me she's never had a client that's had so many attacks. And trying to think of the right word. I can't think of the right word. That's another thing that's happening to me. I'm noticing I'm getting short-term memory. Like, you get up and you go to another.
I have
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's happening a lot.
So, from my perspective, like I don't have any experience with psychic attacks, and I don't know what constitutes a psychic attack. I'm not the expert to speak on that.
No, you're right, but I knew I was being attacked a lot.
So,
I
what was
I could feel it.
are you attributing your mishaps in life to the psychic attack? Help me connect the dots here.
If I did, I didn't know.
'Cause
And I was a very late bloomer, by the way. I didn't even know. I think because everybody was gone and then I was on my own, then I realized, oh. And then, more darkness came with Griffin and my best friend, where she was dead. And then that lasted a couple years really bad. Like I was afraid to see people. They'll drop dead on me.
yeah.
So all of a sudden, like all of the lights started pouring in me. And I mean strong. And I'm even saying, please slow down. I gotta know what. I don't understand this. And then it just stayed. But now since the not Griffin, Rocco, that's Blue Gold Macaw, that I had surrendered after everything. I was very bad, physically speaking. I didn't, I can't, and then on top of it, I can't connect, which is always soothing.
How long's that been? How long's the disconnect been going on?
A little over a year.
Same as the can't meditate time frame, right?
Right. And I never thought that was possible. I mean, I knew I couldn't do it every day because when I would be in high pain, I don't think you can connect. But I started doing all my steps again. And pretty much what you say, I've done. But this time, I think part of it might be I felt with this thing with Rocco and going down so fast, it was too much. After everything I've been through, came back in.
Oh, yeah.
And then I started thinking that they rejected me or something.
Yeah, no. What is your medication load like now? Are you on a lot of different meds?
I'm on very low dosages, but Adderall because of the fatigue. And then I'm on this Alexa, which is like Paxil, still same, very low doses.
Okay, okay.
And nasal spray and something for my cholesterol.
Okay.
That's pretty much about Valium.
Yeah. I'm wondering so how can I say this? To recalibrate you psychically, energetically is the word, to recalibrate you energetically, because there's a shift. There's something energetically that's off. Okay.
Yes.
Have you ever worked with an energy practitioner on your chakras, on your energy centers? Has anyone ever worked with you?
I wanted to, but financially.
Yeah. Okay, so let's channel in some things that you can do for yourself, okay? one of the things that I can see, your receiver, where you get your downloads, we know it as the crown chakra.
Right, right.
Okay, so you want to do exercises to expand the crown. Okay,
Okay.
I this is going to sound very bizarre, but I believe
Mm,
this. You want to get in a well lit space, and the best place you can do this is out in the sunlight. And you want to just imagine that light infiltrating and it's coming in, and you have inside of you, once you get
mhm.
the light in, there's like a strainer or a sieve that doesn't let anything, any minuscule, even little particles that aren't of purity in you.
Yeah.
Your role here is to protect yourself. So you've got two things. You've got
Mhm.
to recharge, okay? And you've got to ground and protect yourself. How do you do that?
How do I do it?
Yeah, or do you have a routine where you ground?
Yeah, I mean, for a while I did because I thought, well, I got through everything else. I was a little mad all about Rocco and me getting that bad that I had to surrender.
Mhm.
And when my dad came, that's when it kind of started.
Okay. So, do you feel your dad's visit was a positive?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I was surprised because I was not allowed to see my dad 7 years before he died.
Why is that?
My mother.
Oh, okay.
I mean, for instance, I'll give you an example. My dad's coming in, and he came back in 2 or 3 more times like that, but then all of a sudden, this is in dreams. I see my dad, he's in a wheelchair, and my mom is like doing something to him. And then all of a sudden, a big flash in front of my face. You'll never know how much he fucking hates you.
Oh. Do you know that to be true?
That my dad hates me?
Yeah.
No.
No, because was your mother nasty, evil?
She was very dark.
Yeah.
And she
Yeah.
was an atheist. But what was weird is when this started to develop with any psychic, whatever, she believed in that. And I'm like, how can you believe in that and be an atheist? But um, like when I was plugged in a lot,
Mhm.
I would go and meet her in my mind's eye. We were at a park and there was a bench and there were all yellow flowers because I knew she loved yellow flowers. And I would be talking to her and talking to her. And um, to be the way she became, a lot of stuff must have happened. I mean, I remember her telling me when she went to the doctor, when she was just pregnant with me,
Mhm.
the doctor offered her a shot. Now, there were 3 other siblings. My parents were quite well to do financially. And I'm thinking the doctor must have noticed something that he offered to give her a pill.
Hmm.
So anyone who comes at me that I know or I surround them with the light
Mhm.
and protection. It's not like, oh, okay, we're going to war now. That's the way I handle those things.
So
It was
you want to make sure you're grounding and protecting yourself first.
always,
Okay.
well, that's the problem. I mean, until I can get back what I had,
Right.
then I can, I mean, because it's very hard for me to stay positive now.
Yeah, it's just a clearing. Like this energy, there's like a film over you, like a cloud, like you have to get clean energetically. So
What do I, if I don't go outside because it's getting cold here, where, what other way could I do it? And because I will sit outside and I have to touch the bark of a tree.
the trees, the earth, the
Hmm. Yeah,
fire, all of
right.
the elements are going to ground you and cleanse you. Now, it all begins, and you've said this a couple of times. You referred to your mind's eye.
Hmm.
Everything happens in your mind's eye. So
Okay.
as you're sitting where you are, you can imagine in your mind's eye, you've got a ball of fire in your hands and
Okay.
you're holding the fire. And as I do this and I become one with that fire, I can feel tingling sensations in my fingertips. I can actually go to this place where I smell the fire. I can feel it, but it's not hurting
Right.
me.
Right.
And so for me personally, as I hold this fire, I bring it over and I put it over my heart
Heart.
and I do this in my mind's eye and you bring it to cleanse your heart. Okay?
Will I get it back?
Well, I can't know that and nobody can know that, but here's what I do know. 1,000,000%. We are all wired with it. We all have the ability. You are very in tune to it. You know what it is, you recognize it. I would have to say, I can't guarantee, but I would say yes, it will come back. Knowing what to do with it, though, how you want to manage it, what you want to use it for, what do you want out of it? Like, have those kind of conversations. Also, your written word, if you want to talk to God or Jesus or
Hmm.
whoever you call it, you have a conversation using the written word. Hey, God, it's me, Mary,
Hmm.
and listen to God back. Do it that way for about 3 to 4 weeks and see if it just generates and triggers.
My, you might sound like I'm crazy. I've always, Jesus is the love of my life and my best friend. And I feel he saved me several times.
Amen, sister.
And while I was still good, whatever you want to call it, I would always see a light blue. It wasn't shaped in pretty much in any way, but that's when I knew, like, oh boy, when I go and meditate, I'm going to learn something new. And then one day I'm sitting in bed as usual, and I'm just looking at my TV, and this big port, I don't know what it was, but it was in the room. And Jesus. And what stunned me, well, first it was Jesus, and that sash you see that's red,
Mhm.
it was so brilliant. It didn't last long. I'm going to say 6 seconds.
Yeah.
Something came in and then him. But I think, do you know who could have done that?
Well, it feels to me, number one, like he had an angelic escort. So there was angelic escorts, and
Okay.
wherever Jesus is,
Yeah.
there's always the both sides of it, right? So there's
Yeah.
always one side saying, no, no, don't go there, come here. Think of it angel,
Yeah.
devil, right?
Hmm.
So the fact that you are so close to Jesus and have
Hmm.
such a connection to him,
Yes.
that is your protection. So when you go
Okay.
and you want to be protected, Jesus, wrap me in your light.
Okay.
That's it. So there's your answer. You don't have to go outside. Jesus, wrap me in your light.
Okay. Um, do you feel I will, even though it declined a little bit here with the health, do you think I will still get healthier?
Yes, and here's what I want to say to you. Jesus healed. Okay. Now, if we listen to scripture and
Mhm.
we read between the lines, okay,
Correct.
um, Jesus healed, but healing begins up here. And so that's
Yeah,
faith. If we have the faith and we have the mind of the healed, our
right.
body has to follow suit.
Okay.
Okay. So your healing, okay, the doctors say take this and they say row and do your exercise, whatever. That's fine. That's great. Keep doing it.
Mhm. Mhm.
But up here, you're healed. You're healed. You're healed. You're healed. And I'll tell you, you might chronologically be 70 years old,
Mhm.
but when I feel your energy, you're like 125 years old. You're
I
you're
feel like it.
you're an old, yeah, you're an old soul. Like there's a lot going on with you. And
Mhm.
honestly, I'm not the expert on that, but I can appreciate and feel that in you. So, what do you do with that? You just stay close to the master. Your
Okay.
your ascended master is Jesus. And you've got there's all kind of angels around you,
Yeah,
Archangel Gabriel, Archangel Raphael, the healer, the messenger. You've
yeah.
got it all.
But if that comes, do I get the fogginess gone?
Keep working on it. Yes. It's
Okay,
almost like, how, like, if you were to have cataracts in your eyes.
I do.
Okay, so you have like it's like a film, right? And to do the
Mhm.
cataract surgery, they take the lens off, the filmy one, and then they put a clear lens on it. This is what your energy is like. You've got fog, right? But
Yeah.
to move it surgically, you would have cataract surgery. To move it spiritually, you want to
Mhm. Mhm.
prayer, grounding,
Mhm.
protection. And here's the other thing I would do. I would lay down and I would run through my chakras. You understand the chakra system, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I would work from the top down now because you want to bring the light in, and I would imagine it bringing the light in and it's coming down and it's pushing, 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 and it's pushing anything that isn't of itself, that isn't of light. And you're going through a cleanse.
Mhm.
And when I get to your heart, just beyond your throat, your
Mhm.
heart space,
Mhm.
there's some stuff that wants to be worked out there.
Yes.
So you want to work with that. And the way to do that is to ask it, to talk to it. What's
Oh,
happening? Your heart, the guardians of your heart. Now, that could be the saints, that could be your angels, like
Angel.
yeah. So just speak to the guardians of your heart space because I can feel it for you right in the heart. And then you go down and you go to the solar plexus and you go to the sacral and the root
Mhm.
and just kind of push it down as it goes back into Mama Earth
Okay.
and leave it go. Leave it go.
Okay.
Um, all right. What other questions do you have for us?
Let me look at my notes. Um, Probably the biggest question I have is why I have to do everything alone. Like after Griffin died, I came back and, like I said, I had a picture of him on my iPad when you opened it up. And I was looking at it a day or two after. And all of a sudden, when I would look at it, there was a halo, like literally a halo.
Hmm.
Then the next day, there was another halo. And then the next day, there was another halo. And so that calmed me so much.
That's beautiful.
Yeah. But then, a lot of the things happened after he was gone. And it's like I knew intuitively when I lost everything that this was something I had to do on my own.
Well, I can tell you the big lesson you came in for, and this will not be a surprise to you, is to work your way through abandonment.
Do you remember Sylvia Brown?
I do.
I talked to Sylvia Brown before she went into Vegas.
Mhm.
And she had always those two life things. And for me, it was rejection and responsibility.
Mhm. Okay.
And oh, I'm a warrior.
Yes, you are.
So I'm just trying to get out of this funk because there's a lot of group activities here that I would love to go to.
That's beautiful. You're in the right place. I will
Yeah,
tell you that.
but I can never go because my body, and I've tried every trick I know, doesn't. I wake up usually around 10:30 or 11, and I feel like, oh God, it hurts. So I have to take my medications and wait for them to kick in. And then before I do the rowing, I make myself a frappuccino with, with espresso,
Mhm.
and away I am. And then, I'm fine. I'm in a good, decent. And then night comes, 6 or 7,
Yeah.
and I'm like, I don't know what to do. So the answer for that would be all their group activities are in the morning.
Mm.
I don't know how to get my body to.
Well, you would have to wake yourself up earlier, get the
Right.
meds in you sooner. What kind of meds do you take that make you feel better? What are they?
Um, I don't know. I would say the Adderall does most.
Oh, is that for pain?
No, that's for chronic fatigue.
Okay. So when you say
And
your body hurts,
yeah,
is that what you said? Your body hurts?
oh yeah.
What do you take for the hurt, for the aches?
All I can take is aspirin. But even when I'm not feeling, and I run a lot of fevers, like 102,
Huh.
101, that's always been, and that with fibromyalgia, that's quite common,
Yeah.
but not that high.
Hmm.
So I know a question I want to ask. I went for a walk instead of doing the tread because I graduated to the tread.
Mm-hmm.
So I walk out and I'm going to go down and walk the bike trail. Out of nowhere, I fell, and I fell hard on some concrete,
Hmm.
and there was no warning. It was like I didn't have the warning. You know how you would break your fall with your hand?
Yeah, yeah.
I didn't even have that.
Were you dizzy?
No. And then on top of it, because I always take this to go to my favorite tree, and I sit there. I kept going. I got up and I kept going. And it felt like somebody was pushing me fast from behind that. And when I would slow down, it was very hard to pull back. And then the spasms would kick in. But it scared me. And that 3 times I fell.
On that same day?
Yes.
Hmm.
So now I'm like, and I was feeling fine. And now I'm like, crap. I don't know if I should. I've been doing the tread more because of that. I mean, it's so bizarre.
Hmm.
I,
Was there anybody around when you fell?
no, thank God.
Huh.
No. But I did make it to my tree. That's how determined I get. I made it to the tree and I sat there and I still felt good.
Well, you
And
got
then,
back up. you got back up. That's synonymous with what you're going through, the warrior.
Yeah, right. And so I got up and I'm thinking, okay, whatever happened. And then on my way back, I fell again. And where I live, there's a sidewalk and a lot of grass, and it's kind of on an incline. I fell there too.
Well, that's indicative of an imbalance. So there's an
Yeah.
imbalance.
So now I'm almost afraid to go for walks. And that's what I love the most is my walks, even in winter.
I wouldn't be afraid, but I would definitely get yourself in balance first because there's something there's something out of balance. We're
Mhm.
working on that.
Right.
And so I would wait until you get in balance and I would do the writing exercises. Um, I would ask Jesus, what does balance look like for me? An
Okay.
emotional balance, right? A
Okay.
physical balance, a
Yeah.
spiritual balance.
Yeah.
Um, what time do you go to bed?
Usually I fall asleep around midnight. I don't like staying up that late, but it's like, and I do have a medication that's usually given to people for depression, but it also makes you extremely tired.
Mm-hmm.
So he ordered me those, and let me tell you, they will make you extremely tired.
Mm-hmm.
And like when I get to spasms and stuff, I take 2 aspirin and then Valium.
Okay. And that also makes you tired. So that could be why you struggle to get up in the morning also if you're taking, you know, that to sleep. It could have a residual effect on.
Right. I mean, after I take it, and this is without taking Valium, and I'm, oh, gotta go to the bathroom. I walk in there and I feel drugged
Mhm.
from that. But
Yeah.
if I don't use it, I won't sleep. Um, I have promised my office person that lives here,
Mhm.
and I was so excited I was going to talk to you. And I asked her, if you want to know any one thing, what would you like? Her name is Sarah,
Okay.
and her mother has died, and she wants to know what her mother's doing in heaven.
So her mother is a very gentle energy that I can feel. She's a
Yeah.
very giving energy, and there's something childlike about her. Now, I don't know if she worked with children or she had, a lot of children or she's got child energy, but there's something very gentle and loving about her. And she's
Mhm.
actually working in a terms of working, she's the
Mhm.
guiding energy of someone who works with children. So she's, thinking about um, oh, making the world a kinder place.
Okay.
Her mission is about making the world a kinder place. Also, I can see that she's had a lot of struggles in her life
Mhm.
and that she is living, as we do on the other side, a
Yeah.
very peaceful existence. And she's completely healed and
Mhm.
she's processed a lot of things. Also, she says that Sarah should not carry on any of the traditions that don't feel right for her.
Okay. Any conditions?
Traditions.
Oh, Tra.
Traditions. Yeah. And meaning if there's anything the family did that doesn't feel right to Sarah, it's okay if she breaks and lets them go.
I got it.
Also, there's a lot of green around her mother. I don't know if it's open space, a lot of outdoors open space for her mother.
Mhm.
It's which indicates a sense of freedom. So whatever her mother struggled with, she's free from.
So when you're up there,
Mhm.
you're deceased and you go up there, and you said she likes working with children. would that be the children crossing or here?
Well, for now, it's the children that are here, but that's a great point because they also have the ability to be helpful where they are. She's just not in. How long has she been gone?
Don't know.
Okay.
I'm gonna say I don't know, maybe 10 years.
Because she's not in that space of helping there. She may have graduated past that and comes down to help. So, in other words, if let's just say somebody runs a daycare,
Yep.
okay, and the teachers in the daycare, her mother's energy, and I'm just making this up. I don't know if this is exactly how she uses it because her mother is all about justice and fairness and equality
Okay.
for people in general, but for kids. Okay. Um, and her mother whispers in her ear. So
Oh,
it's not going to be a loud conversation with her mother. It's going to be a gentle whisper. It's going to be a knowing. It's going to be,
yes.
oh, this is what my mom would say. Like she'll just know.
Well, Sarah is an empath.
Ah, so she feels very deeply.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. She's
I'd be curious to know what the greenery means, the open field, the green. Because it's the green could also be indicative of the heart chakra, where she has a very open, loving heart.
okay.
But that's interesting. Um, okay. Do you know anyone named Frank?
No.
Okay. Because there's
I don't know anybody.
well, this energy's deceased, so he calls himself Frank. Could be just be he came in, doesn't have to be.
Yeah.
But
Do you, back to that, kill yourself before they do.
mhm.
It'll be so much kinder.
Yeah.
What was that?
Well, that was like manipulation. I don't like that. That
I,
didn't feel right to me.
well, I don't think it could be.
No, because spirit, God, Jesus, whatever you want to call it, will only be loving and benevolent. When we hear dark noise, it's not of spirit, and that's when we get the warrior in us and we bring in spirit with force. Because
Yes. Right.
will never ask us that
Right.
or tell us that.
I have no fear of any darkness.
Yeah.
Just,
It does. It's like it repels off of you like water off of,
yeah.
it just doesn't, you know,
Yeah.
keep that up, and that's a light. That's a gift right there.
Yeah. Um,
All right, my dear, we're coming up on the end here.
okay.
I think I want you to work on healing your physical body using
Right.
your mind. If you travel, astral travel, or before you go to bed and you want to astral travel, ask yourself to travel to healers of the past that can give you guidance, whether it's Native American, whether it's doctors that we knew in long ago, ancient civilizations, because there's different modes of healing out there that can happen
Right.
through the energetic sphere.
Yeah. Do you, but I named off the fibro, blah, blah. Do you know what I really have? I don't.
Well, what they showed me is you have a lot of raw nerves, a lot of raw nerve endings, and I'm surprised they're not giving you medicine for nerve pain. Do you have nerve pain? Like prickly sticking? So I
I
see it.
do, but it's not horrible. But what's funny, I'll make this quick. When I started rowing, and like about a week later, where I could consistently row every day, when I would get a certain way, maybe let's say, oh, I rode a mile now.
Mhm.
I would literally start to get goosebumps everywhere,
Hmm.
and I could feel,
Your energy
my
flow. Yeah.
yeah,
Mhm. Well, that's great. That's a great sign. So the fibromyalgia, if it were me, I would probably look at my energy centers. What main organs are connected to the disease fibromyalgia? Like, I would research all of that stuff because I believe everything begins with our energy and our mind.
Yeah, I try not to give it any power.
Yeah.
So, any autoimmune problem can never be solved,
Yeah.
medically speaking.
Yeah, I know. It's something, isn't it?
Yeah,
Also, the most powerful words you can utter come after the words I am.
I do that.
Mhm. So be mindful of the words that you say after I am, because the I am is the creator, and you are
Right.
only ever what the creator is. So be mindful.
Right.
All right, my dear, we're
Yep.
at the end, and I will send you this recording as soon as it downloads.
Just real quick, I'm getting your email and I'm reading them.
Mhm.
And one of them is where it's like 125, I don't know, dollars or whatever. Is that a group?
I'm not sure what that offer was. It isn't anymore. I don't have it going on anymore. Uh,
Okay.
yeah, I don't know
No.
what that was about. But I know all my promotions are pretty much over this month.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
All
Well,
right.
thank you so much for your time.
You take care.
I will. You too.
Bye bye.
Bye.